Also, side note, Warp 9 did not pay us. We paid actual full price for the wheels you're going to see. So,
and they're nice.
They're super
happy
nice.
to pay every penny that was paid for these wheels.
Dun, 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 dun. We need the Halo theme song right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Wrecked Bike Rebuild Garge, the show where Brian and I take motorcycles apart and rebuild them and then give them away to the beautiful people that support us. If you'd like to be one of those people, top link down below is to Wrecked Bike Rebuild Garage Patreon page. We would love you a long time if you did. On the lift today, if you guys forgot, we're still rebuilding 3 CBRs. This one, because you probably can't tell, is a CBR 300. And today, we are getting prepared for powder coat day. We're getting the frame powder coated, the swing arm, the passenger peg plates. What do you call the plate thing?
Those are the rear sets for the rider, not the passenger.
It's a little metal piece called like the guard, foot guard.
The heel guard.
Heel guard.
It's all one piece though, so it's just a rear set.
One of the big things we're also going to be doing today to get ready for powder coat is we have the front fork. We're going to be disassembling those, and by we, I mean him. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully you guys are excited to learn, kind of how you should look at items if you're going to get stuff powder coated. And we have a secret that we ordered and we want to show you guys. You ready to show them? You ready to show them? Because this is the fun part. This is the super fun part for this episode.
True.
Okay.
All right.
So, for you guys that don't know, the way we kind of do Patreon is not only does Patreon help us afford to do the show, but they help us choose what items to get, what colors to do. So with our 300 here, all the guys here in the shop decided on some color schemes, and we gave Patreon a poll to be like, what color do you guys want to do the 300 in? One of the color options was black and magnesium. And what we did was go ahead and order custom wheels. Our black and magnesium wheels are in.
Shout out to the guys over at Warp 9 because they were super helpful at figuring out a hub configuration to work on our machine.
So, just as a catch-up, can we explain super quick the wheel situation? Because we're not grabbing CBR 300 wheels.
They're not CBR 300 wheels. They don't make a hub for a spoked wheel that is exactly made for the CBR 300. So what we did was we worked with the guys over at Warp 9. They did a bunch of math for us. They have a bunch of information that is not readily available, and we were able to figure out a hub to use that will work with our motorcycle, as well as our machinist buddy, who was kind enough to make us some really, really nice wheel spacers and sprocket spacers. So everything is ready for these to fit onto the motorcycle, except for the fact that it's still in a million pieces over here on the lift.
Also, side note, Warp 9 did not pay us. We paid actual full price for the wheels you're going to see. So,
and they're nice.
They're super
happy
nice.
to pay every penny that was paid for these wheels.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. I think the best way to do this is just let's do a montage of these wheels because they're sick. You guys let us know in the comments down below, are those wheels not sick as hell? And hey, Warp 9, next job we do, maybe we could do something together. That'd be phenomenal. All right, so Brian, we've got some parts on these wheels. How do these wheels come as far as So
pretty much as they sit currently is how you get them out of the box from Warp 9. They come fully assembled with rotors and sprockets on them, and you order the size sprocket needed for your machine when you order your wheels.
So other than the tires, these are ready to go?
Well, there's a rubber rim band that goes in here first.
Okay.
that covers all the spoke nipples to make sure that they don't wear through your tube.
Oh.
And then your tire goes on, and then your tube goes in, and then everything gets inflated together, and now you have a set of wheels.
So now that we're at a shop and we have tire machines, can we do all that?
We're going to do it all right here.
Yay, that's exciting. Tire machine's terrifying, by the way. I can't wait for that episode, but it makes
Don't
this
worry,
kind of noise.
you are all going to get a safety lesson on the tire
Hold on,
machine.
you guys are on the tire machine. Y'all ready? How cool is that? What I just did was literally the extent of what I know how to do on a tire machine. So it's dangerous, so I don't like to know anything else. The whole point of showing these wheels was that this is the color scheme for the motorcycle.
Correct.
So now that we're back over here to the actual work we got to do, frame, we've decided that that's going to be magnesium.
Correct.
So this whole long boy, there is no subframe on the 300. It's all one piece. Swing arm, I believe we said black. Forks are going to be black. And if you guys notice, I'll show you over here. This upper triple clamp is brand new. We've got the other part somewhere over here. But if you guys can tell, it's kind of gray. And if you look here, this kind of middle triple thing, that's
lower triple tree, upper and lower triple tree.
Lower triple tree. That is black. And then here we have that same gray again.
Which is also what's on the engine.
Which is also, this is our brand new engine. Have we even talked to the engine? Holy shit, we have a lot to talk about in this episode.
We can discuss that after we get all this apart.
Yeah, let's do that because we got a lot to go in today. We are very particular with how our finished machines look. I like to think that that has led us to make some really incredible work. So little details like this gray is not going to work with this build. So the only colors of things that we're getting powder coated are the magnesium and the black, the colors you saw on the wheels. So black, 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 black.
And then the rear sets or the heel guards.
Yes.
Those are going to be black. The brake pedal, shift lever, all that stuff is going to be black as well.
Yes.
So the only thing that's going to be the magnesium color is going to be the frame itself. Mm-hmm. And the hubs and the nipples for the spokes on the wheels themselves. So very, very few pieces of magnesium, unless we find some cool accenty stuff to bolt on later.
We have a look that we know we're going to go for, so that's what we're working towards. What's stopping us is all of these parts that are together. So at this point, our hardest job is going to be getting the forks disassembled, right?
Yeah, that'll be the most difficult part of the whole thing. I mean, we do still have to take the bearing races out of the steering head in the frame, and then there's also the bearing race that's on the lower triple clamp that needs to be removed.
Bearings are always fun here in the shop.
These bearings especially are lots of fun.
Oh.
There'll be some grinding and some hammering before the day is out, and there'll be some oil, so there'll be some messiness. We're just going to make a real big mess, take everything apart, and then segregate it between what's going to be powder coated magnesium, what's going to be powder coated in our gloss black.
I guess at this point, what do you want to start with first?
Let's start with the really, really easy stuff. Yeah, the swing arm's probably going to be the easiest. All that stuff is just finger tight in there, so we should be able to take that part totally by hand.
Cool.
Then we can move to the frame, take off the taillight bracket, the side stand, take the bearing races out, and that'll pretty much be done. Mm-hmm. There's a couple small things that we need to take off of our Thank You Judd super cool seat pan, and then we can move on to the forks where we're going to make a big giant mess. We'll do that. We'll save that for last.
Yeah, that's exciting. All right, let's get a swing arm taken apart.
So not much left in here.
Not much
To remove. So we have our axle.
Do you already have a bag, or am I on bag duty? I guess you can't really put that in a bag anyway, but
You can put the rest of this stuff in the bag, though.
I sure can. Cool. Boop, boop, boop.
All right, that took all of about 5 seconds.
Oh, there's no like bearings or anything in the...
Nope, Judd and I took this apart.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
right, guys. So, as you can see, we are making some serious progress here on the table. We haven't got to the frame yet. You guys can see it over there. Everything's bagged. All the little pieces are taken apart. So, our next thing is taking apart the forks. So, this is where it's going to get messy. And this is the hardest part, basically.
The most parts are inside of each one of these.
Gotcha. Earlier we were talking about these gray areas. I don't think we've touched on it because we kind of just gave these to Judd off camera.
Right. These silver marks are where the mounting tabs for the front fender used to be. So we're not running a front fender on our machine, so we had the front fender mounting tabs removed from our fork legs.
The reason we're disassembling is so we can take this entire under area with those so they can be the exact same black. But this is going to give the front of the bike clean looking front.
Yeah, there'll be nothing there. I mean, this bike is really just going to be totally naked.
Right. The only thing we need for powder coat is this bottom piece, right?
Correct.
So we're doing all this work just to get this part separated.
We need to take the seals out, drain all the oil out of it, and have the fork legs bare for them to do the powder coating on.
Cool. Let's get to it.
Okay. So
Slot
here is
bucket.
our slot bucket, yes.
I'm putting glasses on because I don't want going in my
this
eyes.
is already started, so there is some spring tension behind this. So I am prepared with a little bit of tension pushing back on it. There it goes. All right.
Glug, 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 glug. Oh, goodness.
It's not very many miles on this thing either.
So this is a progressive spring, right?
This is a dual wind spring.
So it's only got two. It doesn't
Yes, it
progressively
doesn't progress all the way
okay.
through. Can you see it?
I can, and I can also smell it.
Oh, yeah, it smells yummy, doesn't it?
goodness, No.
Can you push the fork leg towards me, the inner part? Okay.
Is that enough?
Yep. Cool. That's it. Here's the bolt that goes in the bottom. Let's see if this slides out of here now.
Oh, the silver, or the, whoa. Oh, so this is what you just loosened.
It is. If you look at the end of that, that's
Good.
where this bolt goes.
So how does a liquid not come out of this?
So there is a crush washer like there is for a drain plug for your oil.
Oh.
And it's still stuck on the inside of here. Can't tell if this washer is still here or not. Yes, it is. Okay. This thing has just been, there it goes, smashed in here, so it was in there real.
Oh wait, it's a crush washer.
It's a
of
crush
course,
washer like your oil drain plug, so you just replace it, but it's just a copper washer. Yeah, no, this is the valve.
So that does all the work with like the holes
Of the oil.
and everything?
Yeah, this does all the work of the oil.
So
deal.
my
So we're just gonna
final
leave that there.
curiosity is what is holding this silver piece to the black piece?
A seal and a circlip,
Okay.
which is what we're about to take off right now. Now we just need to separate the dust seal from the outer leg.
Okay. So that was simple.
Yeah, it just presses in there, it's just a piece of rubber.
Okay.
There's a retaining clip. So this is obviously bigger than the diameter of it, so you have to compress it to get
Right.
it inside, and then there's a little groove that this ring hooks into on
And
the
that's
inside.
on this?
It's on this black part, on the inside of this black part.
Okay.
Okay, so now that that's out, the only thing that's keeping these two pieces together is the seal that has been pressed in here. So now we have to unpress the seal.
Oh, okay.
Ready? This is how we unpress the seal.
Oh. So that seems super simple to take it out, but
Putting it back in, you have to get this seal, is the one that we just forced out,
right.
back into its groove in here, and you can't damage the seal doing it. That's why you have fork seal drivers. Specifically made
Got it.
to drive these seals in without doing any damage. All right, so this is the seal at the top. It keeps the oil from coming in and out.
Okay.
All right, this is a washer to protect the seal
Okay.
from these bushings.
Okay.
That bushing is what this fork leg rides up and down on.
Okay.
This touches the outside. I mean, the outside of this touches the inside.
That's what it runs on. Okay.
And then the same thing outside of this touches the inside here.
And what is this little piece
It's
called?
the same thing as this. It's just another bushing.
Okay.
This one is steady, and this one allows everything to slide.
Right, so this can't move.
Right.
And then this one
Moves freely with the stuff that's inside of there, yes.
Gotcha.
Now that guide is just to keep the fork from wiggling
Right.
inside the fork
It
leg.
takes the extra space up in the
Yes.
inside.
Yep.
Forks aren't displacing oil more than they're just compressing the oil.
Well, you can't compress oil. So what you're doing is you're forced to displace it from one place to another to get the movement that is required.
Where else is it going if it's all sealed inside?
So it goes from the top to the bottom of the seal internally. This is sealed to the inside. This seal is on the inside of this leg. And as this is going up and down, the oil is forced through this and squirt out the top of this. And then when it extends, it draws it back down into the bottom and into the bottom area.
So it's at rest, it's in the bottom of the fork leg.
Typically.
Holding up, like-
The spring's holding everything
yeah,
up.
Right, spring's holding it up, the fork oil is in the bottom of the...
So when you compress the springs, it pushes the fluid, right? It takes up whatever space there is, pushes the fluid down, and forces it back up the center of this to control how fast you
and that's
can
why there's
compress
the
it.
holes on the bottom is to feed it.
The holes in the bottom and then the holes up here at the top is all flow control.
So springs are not the only thing that work inside of a fork. It's
No, not
also
at all.
it's the
It's
springs
one of very
mixed
few
with.
things. The
Right.
spring is the least complicated part in the fork.
I look at a fork and I'm like, oh, there's a spring inside of it, and the oil's there to keep everything lubricated. But it's more
It's not, the oil's not for lubrication.
right. The oil is there for the
to
drag of
Yes.
liquid movement.
It's what controls the speed at which the fork can be compressed and how fast it rebounds.
Right.
So that's compression and rebound. You control the flow of oil. Like when you're changing your adjustments on your fork for dampening or for compression and rebound,
Right.
what you're doing is you're speeding up or slowing down how fast the oil can move back and forth. Boom.
So with a fork control like that, you can, for instance, if you want your fork to dive in quickly but return slowly,
You could do that.
holy crap.
And you can do the opposite. And you can
Right.
pretty much change it any way you want. And then you can change your spring rate.
right.
Like on yours, I'm sure it has spring preload adjustment.
I think so. Yeah. It's got 3 adjusters at the top of each fork.
So it's compression, rebound, and preload are the 3 adjusters.
Okay.
So the preload is this spring at standard length set up on all the controls. We're just throwing numbers out here. None of
Right.
this is right, just for conversation's sake. Set up for a person at 180 pounds.
Okay.
I weigh 250.
Okay.
Now the spring may not be capable of that
Right.
total overall, but that doesn't mean that you can't compress the spring a little bit already, give it some preload,
Right.
so it's going to want to push back more and hold up just a little bit more weight. That's how you get like a range
Interesting. Yeah.
of weight in your spring is through your adjustment, through your preload. One more part in here.
Where the hell did he come from?
It was just stuck.
Oh.
So this is a very, very important part.
Okay. Noted.
So most of the time they're in there. Occasionally you'll have a fork where this little cap is built into the fork instead of it being removable.
Okay.
I'm going to show you once I get it clean and you can see what the hell it is.
Whoa, that is not the same color. Holy shit.
So this is the centering pin for this.
Okay.
So internally, that edge fits into a little groove
I see.
to keep it totally centered,
Right.
so everything can move the way that it's supposed
So
to.
the bottom of this is here. That would be at the bottom of the
Right,
fork.
so this drops inside the fork.
And that slides
This
into
drops
that.
in the fork as well, it slides into it, and see how tight that fits on there?
So very similar to what this thing is doing. It's making sure
Yep.
that's not going to wiggle
And
around.
then this bolt comes in from the bottom,
Connects
through
them
the bottom of
together.
the fork, and pulls everything and attaches this to the inside of the fork.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is now our fork leg totally disassembled. Here's our lower that is going to be powder coated.
Yep.
We have one more fork leg to do, and then we are going to clean all these parts up in our fresh, brand new parts washer. And then we'll bag everything, and then we're pretty much set. So now that we have this one totally apart, and you guys saw how that was done, we have a second fork leg to do, and we're just going to knock this out.
guys check out the table. We got all the fork stuff disassembled. We're gonna use our little parts washer to clean all these. We're not gonna do that on camera because it's cleaning in the parts washer, so there's no real need to show that. So we'll do that after we wrap up. But there's all the parts. You said the parts are interchangeable, right? So it doesn't matter if left and right gets really mixed up.
Well, we have that part that's stuck inside of there, so now we have to keep them separated.
Right.
So I wanted to do this.
I tried to make them as close as possible.
I'm gonna do it like that, so now they're separated.
Okay. Cool. So those are gonna stay there until we get the other pieces back from powder coat, right? And we have now a pile of these are gonna all be blacked out, so they're all kind of together. Our final thing that we have left is slightly taking apart some stuff off the frame. All right, Brian, so we've got the frame on the lift. I know we're doing the race?
Yes.
Okay, and we got to take this guy off. Got to get this rubber off. Is there anything else that?
Side stand.
Side stand, right.
And that's it, then the frame will be ready.
So the only real issue here is going to be that guy.
Yeah, that'll be
Cool.
the hard part.
All right, well, let's get this video finished up, boy. All right, Mr. B, big old frame. Do you want to start with the easy stuff?
No, I'm gonna, because this may take some time, so let's start with the hard stuff.
Okay, so what is that and how do we get it out?
So this is the upper steering head bearing race,
Okay.
and we're gonna need a long punch and a hammer.
We talking this long?
Yep.
Okay. And you want the same hammer we had?
Sure.
Cool. Oh, we're playing this game. Okay. I'll hold it.
Okay, that's off.
That was the hard part, right?
That was the hard part.
All right, so what else we got to do to get... Hey!
So I know you just touched that, so you could see that there's a bushing inside of there.
Yes.
So you need to knock the bushing out and then take the rubber out. So the bushing's got to come out this way.
All right, my guys. Everything is disassembled. All the little pieces off the frame are taken off. Everything is bagged. We have our internals for our forks over there. We've got our pile of powder coat black here. And obviously, like we said, magnesium for the frame. How lucky do you feel about those bearings? Because we have never had a successful bearing situation that wasn't a nightmare. That was probably the best nightmare that turned dream.
We've done steering head bearings before, and they're usually about this difficult.
But we never, like, this is the first time where, like, it was difficult. We were like, we're gonna have to cut this. And then, like, success was had.
It's fairly typical for steering head bearings to be a little difficult. Obviously, you don't want them to come out easily.
Fair point.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, they don't make it real easy to get to this bottom race to get it out. That was a little difficult. It's out. And this frame is stripped bare and pretty much ready for powder coat.
Hell yeah, fam. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this episode. We do have a couple pieces to go clean in our parts washer, but you guys don't need to see that. If you want to see cleaning in a parts washer, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we're doing parts washing ASMR.
I just don't know if people care. I don't think they care, and we're going to proceed as if they don't.
All you hear is, oh my God, my eyes burn.
If you guys want to see parts washing and how to use a parts washer, you can let us know, and we'll factor that into the next episode. But for now, I'm Chaseontwowheels. That is Brian. That is team behind. And that is prepping for powder coat on a CBR 300. If you guys are interested in just CBR 300 content, we have a playlist for our 300, our 600, and our 1000 because it's confusing as even to us. So thank you guys for watching the show. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to win the bikes, make sure to check out that top link down below. That will take you to Patreon. That is where we get our support for the show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all on the next one. Outro crew, Outro crew, let us know what you guys think about that magnesium and black combo. I'm a huge fan of it, but you guys might have differing opinions, so let us know. Also, make sure to put OC in your comment down below. We will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye. Goodbye, little camera. Goodbye inside of the frame. What's a ghost? Oh no, you take...